Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard, Cisneros, at your service. Today I will be reading the October 12th Facebook post and making a few comments on it, and I trust that it will assist both of us on our journeys. Here we go. Releasing the present from the past and future. As much as the ego has trained us to believe otherwise, it is not possible to be anxious or upset in the present moment. Now, it is possible to extend past learned behaviors such as anxiousness or anger into the present and thus think we are in the present when we are simply extending the past. By doing as such, we never truly get to experience the present. For to truly experience it, we must free it from the past programming or future imaginings. The present moment is the everlasting, non-divisible expression of the presence of God's source. Forgiveness is the tool that releases the past and sets the future free and brings us back into the present. All anxiety, fear, upset will be gone once its sources, the past and the future, are gone. When all is forgiven, the blocks to the awareness of the present are gone. All that is left is love, peace, and joy. That are the expressions of the present moment. Imagine being born into a world, a planet that supported, promoted, and reinforced in you your simple truth, which is that you are God's source's creation. You are love's creation. You are love and only love. And some of the forms that love expresses itself are through kindness, compassion, generosity, peace, joy, forgiveness. And so this is the true you. This is the true us. And when we are in the present moment, in alignment with our truth, then peace results. Now, most of us are not really in that world yet. We have been born into a world where our parents, peers, friends, society, although they did the best they could only teach us what they themselves had been taught. And so they taught us the best they could with the tools they had available to them at the time. And they taught us this very limited belief system. And they taught us that this was the right way. And that anything that, quote unquote, challenged this limited belief system was in actuality attacking that belief system. And we were taught that it was proper and honorable to defend this limited belief system. For if this was attacked and destroyed, then you would be attacked and destroyed. Because the ego is programming into us that its programming is us. That we are this very limited belief system within the mind. And so whenever we use judgment, anger, resentment, jealousy, all that is simply brought from the past into the present. The past is extended, the ego's programming is extended into the present moment. And thus what we see is simply the past, the extension of the past. When in reality, the present moment exists beneath the illusion of what we have brought into the present. Because the present moment is only our truth. It's only the love, compassion, kindness, generosity. That is what we can figure out when we're in the present moment, is when we're experiencing these emotions. This love, this compassion, this joy, this forgiveness, this peace. That's when we know that we're in the present moment. But anytime we judge or criticize or are angry at or revengeful thoughts come in, that's simply we're bringing that from the past, from a past program into the present. And thus we see these illusions in front of us, and we believe we must defend ourselves against this, or else we will be destroyed. And it's honorable to defend ourselves according to the ego. So we do. But the issue is that our belief system is so limited, and there's one of us and there's 7 billion people, quote unquote, out there. And the ego has this belief in separation also. So it has this thing that there's 7 billion separate beings out there, when our truth reminds us that we're all one. And so we're in this limited belief system, protecting ourselves against these 7 billion other belief systems. And so we're in a constant state of defending ourselves throughout the day. Our thoughts, our words, our actions are in constant struggle to defend this belief system against the outside world. And obviously there's 7 billion different combinations plus of belief systems, because we have different families, peers, friends, societies. And so living in such a state, living in a state of defensiveness, you can't have peace. You can't have peace if you're your whole day defending yourself against these illusions. Now truth, the present moment, reminds us that when we release the past and the future, we have been given a special tool for that. And that tool is called forgiveness. The ego would paint 1,000 different problems out there, and it will paint it in different colors and in different sizes, and will have you tell yourself, well, I must solve or defend myself against these 1,000 problems. And then when you finally do, it paints 1,000 more. And that the ego tells you must solve these 1,000 other problems with 1,000 other solutions. And so you're in a constant state of trying to solve or defend yourself against these illusions. The truth within you reminds you that all these quote-unquote problems of the ego, they're all equally illusions. They're all equally not real. They all exist in the past. And so when you use forgiveness, you can erase all these thousands of problems with a simple forgiveness. And so you see, the ego would have you solve these issues in 1,000 different ways. And then you wonder why you feel overwhelmed. The truth within you simply reminds you that they are not real. That only your truth is real. That only the love, peace, compassion, kindness, joy, generosity within you is real. And therefore, because we are all one, only peace, love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, generosity is real in your brothers and sisters. And so there's no need to defend yourself against love, because you are love, and therefore your brothers and sisters are love. And if love is all, and love comes from our source, and source is all, then there's obviously no opposite to everything. The opposite of everything is nothing, and therefore judgments and anger and resentment and jealousy are all illusions, all nothing. When we remember that only love is real, we remember that we have no need to defend ourselves. Not because we're not worthy, but because there's truly nothing to defend yourself against. Like I've mentioned before, if a child puts a finger up, a gun like in his hand, and shoots at you, the ego would have you judge that symbolically as some issue, a problem that you have to defend yourself against. The truth in you sees that child is simply in its illusion. His journey is as sacred as yours. It's just that he's asleep and dreaming, and you're awake and remembering the truth in you. And that does not mean that you're higher or lower than this other being. That simply means that you have realized that you're awake, and they're in the process of realizing their truth. And by you being your light, by you holding up that lantern of love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, and joy, and peace, they are little by little better able to see that all this stuff that they're holding on to, all this anger, resentment, jealousy, revenge, all these judgments of the ego that the ego insists they must make, it just weighs them down. And sooner or later, they start looking around for a better way. And that's when they see your light and your example of love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. And then they start getting closer to you. Because they want to feel what you are feeling. Because they know that you're feeling something that they also deserve to feel. Because somewhere deep inside them, they know that the peace you have is also the peace that they deserve to experience. And when they start to remember this, they start letting go of their illusions. Little by little, they let go of their illusions. Let go of their anger for what has that ever brought to them. Let go of their ideas that they're not good enough or spiritual enough or not wise enough for what has that ever done for them. Let go of their ideas of revenge and resentment, for jealousy, for what has that ever done for them. They've already traveled those roads. And yes, each person's journey is sacred. And so they needed to travel those roads to figure out that those roads lead to dead ends. And so let us not judge their journey by them realizing that they are simply going towards dead ends. Once they've done that enough, they decide that enough is enough, and there must be a better way. And that's when they see you in your example. And again, it's not from a sense of superiority, because we are all one, and therefore this world must be as one to have full and ultimate love and compassion and forgiveness. Our brothers and sisters must return with us. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They are going to return to the truth in them. And that's what they're looking for. And that's what you'll be able to provide. But the way you provide that is simply by realizing when you're in the present moment. And you realize that because you're experiencing joy, peace, compassion, kindness, generosity. That's when you realize you're in the present. And then, obviously we're all humans, so we will have some illusions that we're still working on. But no longer will we judge these illusions. For why? We already know they're but illusions. But we will actually thank them. We will thank them because they're reminding us that where we are, what those roads that we're taking are not the roads we want to take. So we thank the illusions and then come back into the present moment, into being the loving, forgiving, compassionate, joyful, peaceful being that in truth we all are. And so let us do that today. Let us simply focus on where we're at. Are we in the present moment, experiencing our truth, or are we in the past or future, experiencing some illusions of the ego, some fairy tale that was read to our family, our friends, our society over and over again until they believed that it was true, and then that's what they taught us. And so let's not judge them for teaching us that, because they simply were taught the same thing their parents were taught. But now we're coming to a point in time where we're remembering the truth within us. And so let us be an example of this truth today. Thank you for your time. I love you very much. If you would be so kind as to like, comment, or share this video, it would help with the listening process, and it might help somebody find this video who can use the information someday. If you would like to leave me a comment or a question, I would be delighted to try and offer a response, and I try to respond to all comments or questions. And finally, if you can please subscribe to my YouTube videos, I would love to have you in this community. Again, thank you very much for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.